Good afternoon. My name is Garfield Lemonius. I am the Acting Dean of the Conservatory of Performing Arts at Point Park University and also the Artistic Director of the Pittsburgh Playhouse. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the renowned Conservatory of Performing Arts at Point Park University, one of the top conservatory training programs in the country for cinema arts, dance, and theater. Congratulations. You have taken a significant step towards your goal of becoming a professional artist or working professional in the performing arts industry. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, I want to extend a warm welcome to you all. The Conservatory is a renowned organization, renowned program with a familial atmosphere, meaning it is a community of caring students, faculty, staff, who support each other and take care of each other. You have now joined this family. As a conservatory student, you will be challenged by faculty and your peers. You will be exposed to numerous guest artists and perform or work on many productions that will help you hone your craft as well as prepare you for the professional world. And most of all, you will learn so much about yourself and grow beyond what you have ever imagined. I look forward to welcome you in person this fall to our beautiful campus in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. Have a safe and enjoyable summer, and congratulations once again. Molly?
Molly.
Well, thank you, Garfield, and thank you to all of you for making the time to be here with us today. And again, congratulations and welcome to Point Park. You are most definitely here to study and train with the best of the best. And so I want to introduce you to my team who will help to support you in being and doing all of the best that you can do during your time at Point Park. So I'm Molly McClelland. I'm the director of the Center for Student Success, and my team is, Amy, do you want to start?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Kier, and I am the Success Coordinator and Academic Advisor for the dance program. Ashley?
Hi, everybody. I am Ashley Davis, and I am the coordinator for all of the cinema arts program students.
And now I'll go. I'm Kate Pieratt, and I am the coordinator for the theater program.
Hi everybody. I'm Michael Elko, and I'm the coordinator for Tutoring Services.
And I'll just say hi. My name is Angelo, and I'm just running things behind the scenes here. Thanks everybody for being here.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. So I'll just give you a brief high-level introduction about the services provided in the center. Michael will talk to you about the academic support resources available through the tutoring and writing centers, and then we'll open this up to you to have any questions that you have about next steps in your schedule with your student success coordinator. So the Center for Student Success is a comprehensive advising center. We offer tutoring services in addition to all undergraduate advising. We are the place to go when you need to know what it is that you need to take, or if you're exploring things like adding a minor or declaring a double major. All of those processes and business happen within the Center for Student Success, and your student success coordinator can help you with all of those processes. You'll also be assigned a faculty advisor at Point Park, and they are really serving as your academic and scholarly mentor. Of course, my dog wants to now play fetch in the midst of the webinar, per usual. So that team will really help you to maximize your academic pursuits here at the university, your engagement with the university, and your development as a professional to be. So those are the people that you'll want to know the most. We also offer a wide range of support resources, both within our center, and we can also get you connected to support resources that exist outside of our space. But we do have tutoring services, which are overseen by Michael Elko. And Michael, if you could talk a little bit about the supports that are available to students in your space.
Yeah, absolutely. So I oversee tutoring services, and we have a tutoring center and a writing center. And we also have academic coaching to help you with your academic endeavors and, all of your endeavors at Point Park. So welcome to Point Park. We're happy you're on board. And I want to let you know a little bit about the tutoring services. So we offer academic support via tutoring at the tutoring center, and about probably 60 to 70 subjects in the fall, and then in the spring. In the summer, it's reduced a bit because there aren't that many students taking courses. So your schedules have been planned for you, your first semester schedules. We generally cover the academic courses that you have to take during that first semester and into your second semester. We make sure that we hit like the math, the science courses, those big, broad subject areas that every student has to take. In addition to that, we have the Writing Center, and writing consultants at the Writing Center can help you at any stage in the writing process, from brainstorming to final edit. So I'm going to encourage you to use both services while you're here, because you have that support built in, and we want to know that we're here. We want you to know that we're here to help. In addition, we do offer academic coaching. Now, that's something that is not subject-based, but it's more a holistic approach to helping students who find themselves being a bit overwhelmed by, the new experience in college, and they might fall behind. So academic coaches who you would talk to your coordinator, you would talk to Amy, Ashley, or Kate if you find yourself in some, struggles in the semester, and we can assess you and then assign you to an academic coach if that will work out. But coaches are reserved for people who are having problems like globally, and the tutors are there for your subject particular request. And I think Angela is going to throw up. Oh, you did throw it up. Yeah. And there's a link. So you can make all your, you'll be responsible for making your appointments with the tutor or with a writing consultant. Academic coaches are a different story. Again, go through your success coordinator. But Angela threw up the link, and that link will allow you to register for tutoring services. You can do that during the seminar or after the seminar, but you will see that link in the future again, because we want to make sure that we get that information out to you and that you have access to it. What was else? Oh, you can access that link. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Point Web. If not, you will be. But that's kind of like the go-to program to access so many things at the university, including tutoring services. In the students screen, there are quick links, and underneath that quick links, there's a link called tutoring. You just click on that, and that will take you to that site that Angelo just threw up in that link. We have peer tutors who can help you with your subjects, and those are tutors who have had those courses, so they're a great resource. We have professional tutors who can help you, and we have adjuncts who serve as tutors. So you have a variety of people who can offer help, and I guess ta-da, the end. That was a quick ending.
Thank you, Michael. And one thing that we did want to also make sure that you are aware of is that we are planning on keeping some of the efficiencies and what worked when we had to move to a remote platform through the pandemic. So all of these services that we offer are available to you both in person and remote starting in the fall. We have found that students really have embraced the virtual visits, really appreciate how efficiently they can kind of hop on with the person that they need to speak to kind of in the moment. We don't want to lose some of what we know has served students well. So just communicate with us. We're happy to jump on calls and answer any questions. This is also one example, the webinar that we are offering today, of something that we know works really well. So many students and families who are coming to college for the first time share similar concerns, and so we found that really builds a sense of community, and that there is no question that only one person has. These are really kind of common areas of stress and concern, and certainly having lived through a pandemic and all of the questions about opening up, we feel like this is an approach that we want to keep, and we want to continue to do what works well for students in this space. So it's great to meet all of you. I think that we want to leave most of the time for those questions that you have already. So I'll turn it back to Angelo and the coordinators to get started with any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Molly. Again, everybody, my name is Angelo. I'll be moderating the questions as they start to come in. So you can ask a question via the questions tab in the GoToWebinar control panel. This is now open, so please start asking your questions. If you can please say your degree, your major that you're in with your question, it might help us answer with the correct coordinator. So dance, theater, cinema, if you can provide that, that'd be great. These questions come in private. So again, feel free to ask them and we'll answer them broadly and not mention any names to keep it, confidential. So with that information, we will get started. Okay, Molly, this one might be good for you. Can you please comment on the health and wellness services, including mental health support? Is Molly still on here?
Yeah, absolutely. You bet. So, we never has it been more critical to really start thinking about our mental health and wellness, and and really embracing that as kind of a way of life and not just a moment in time or a moment in crisis. So, we offer some group through the University Counseling Center. It's a professionally staffed counseling center. They also have doctoral students who help to give us additional support and programming for students. They do some small group work in our space, developing skills and tools like distress tolerance or mindfulness, meditation, breathing. So a lot of what they're doing is really helping us to focus on the wellness piece of it, in addition to any acute needs that you might have. We do recommend that you start formalizing and thinking about those mental health plans if you do come in here into school or come to campus with a diagnosis. If you have a mental health professional that you're connected with, I think one thing that's also been beneficial is the ability for our students to still connect with their person at home, because so many of those appointments have been conducted virtually throughout the pandemic. So we do encourage folks to remain connected to the extent possible with those individuals that they're currently working with, who know them best. But we do provide mental health care through campus services as well. So we all connect through a service, and parents love this. Students, we are not Big Brother, but we do have an early alert system that helps us to really learn what's going on with students. What concerns are presenting throughout the course of the semester, whether it's mental health, academic, do they need an academic coach? Do they need to be connected with a counselor? Is it something going on in the residence hall? It's a way for us to kind of all speak again as a community to one another and really connect the dots to know holistically what might be going on with our students. So there are a lot of kind of cross-departmental spaces and meetings that we hold to make sure that we're not dropping the ball or missing anything that could be of critical concern. So we do have a student concerns group. Many of the mental health concerns that we might have about students are shared there. And again, so that we can really connect the dots and make sure that we're speaking about anything that we know that we might need to get professionals or families involved. So I think that's really important for students and families to know. And it's also, very important for you as a community of students to speak up in support of your fellow student. It's been a trying time, and we, certainly have not ever lived through an experience like this. So we really need to make sure that we're taking care of one another as well.
Thanks, Molly. I also posted a link in the chat to the University Counseling Center for more information there. I'm going to answer this next question. For our courses and their scheduled days, does TH mean Thursday, or is it for Tuesday and Thursday? Very good question. The TH does mean a Tuesday and a Thursday class. So a lot of students get that confused. The TH, again, means a Tuesday and a Thursday at that designated time. Great question. This next one's going to be for Ashley. Is there a recommended computer for cinema students?
Yes. So if you want to shoot me an email after this, I can send you the link of, and this goes for animation as well, so there's different computer recommendations for cinema versus animation, and I can send that your way. So please just shoot me an email, and it's super quick, and I will give you also the contact information for the department if you have any questions for them.
Thanks, Ashley. This next one's going to go to Kate. Is there a current list of items to purchase for musical theater majors?
There will be a list that comes out a little bit later in the summer, so nothing right now. I know there'll be some more communication coming from the actual department.
Go ahead, Amy.
Angela, I'm going to jump in there too, because I'm sure the next question is dance. The conservatory offices will send you information, send students information about what you need on campus the first year. That likely will not come until July, as they're working through ending the summer and getting ready for the fall. They're getting all that information to you, and you will get a handbook likely, and also a list of requirements of things that you need. So stay tuned for that. That'll come directly from your department.
Thank you, Amy. This one's going to come back to you anyways. Is there a sample 8-semester course plan that is available for viewing?
Yeah, so this can be for all majors here on the call. The university does lay your degree requirements out into 8 sequences, and once you get to the university, you will meet with your coordinator, and we will share all of those sequences with you. We'll talk to you about registration, how to declare a minor, how you fit all of this into 4 years. I know you're super anxious to get started, but we really want you to come to Point Park. We want you to get started in the fall semester, and then once you're here, we're going to share all of those details with you to help you be successful and make the most out of your academics at Point Park.
Thank you, Amy. Kate, this is going to you. Is there a limit on how many productions a first-year theater student can do? Also, how many main stage shows happen per year?
Well, that's a really good question. So the last question I'll answer first. So it's been different this year with the pandemic, and so I'm hoping that there will be a few more. Normally, there's about 4 shows per semester that students are able to participate in. As a first-year student, you have to take Theater 140 or Production 100 and Theater 141 and Production 101. That's fall and spring semester. You have to take those in order to qualify to be able to audition. There's other things you can audition for, like one acts and things like that, but the main shows, you have to do these production assignments first. So you'll be assigned a production assignment in the fall that you'll work on. So you'll be crew on a show, one in the fall and one in the spring.
Thank you, Kate. Amy, this is going to go to you. Am I able to do work study while in the conservatory program?
Yes, this is actually for all majors as well. If you want to do work study, you'll work through the Office of Human Resources. You'll get information about work study, student employment. And yes, you can work. Work study works around your academic schedule. And the same thing goes with apprenticeships as well. Your apprenticeship manager, supervisor will help you to create times that work around your schedule.
Thank you, Amy. This next one I'm going to answer. We have a question about Pioneer Experience. There's a lot of information surrounding this. This is the new student orientation. Instead of getting into some of the nuances, I'm going to provide the link to the new student orientation. It will break down different categories on when you would attend and how you can attend. So that would be the best way to really approach that. If you have additional questions, you can reach out to your coordinator from there, but that is now in the chat. Amy, this is for you. How many academic classes compared to dance classes are in the first semester?
The faculty have laid out a balance of academic versus technique courses that you'll take every single semester. The first semester in the fall, you have 2 academic courses. Typically, you're in University 101 and either English 101 or Com 101, and that's going to go for all majors.
Molly, I'd like to get you back on here for this next question, if you're available. What are the Point Park vaccination rules as they currently stand? I can also provide some information on the website as you're speaking.
Yeah, those determinations are really run out of the Office of Student Affairs. So there's a COVID-19 link on our main page that gives any updated information on COVID campus processes, resources available to students, et cetera. As of right now, there is no vaccination requirement for students to return to campus. That's not to say that that's not going to move as we see more and more campuses in the area move in that direction. But currently, we are really strongly recommending that students receive the vaccination. Certainly, you're living, training, studying, existing in communities of, and in groups. And, we know how much students have missed that experience, and the extent to which we're protecting ourselves from the virus is the extent to which those experiences can go back to normal. So highly encouraged, but not mandated by the university at this time.
Thank you, Molly. Amy, what is the best laptop to purchase for a dance major?
Well, unlike cinema, we do not have a list of the best laptop for you to purchase. I do recommend that you have one that has the basics for academics, Word, Excel, Microsoft Suite. If you are considering a minor, if there might be software packages that you might need for that as well. But you're welcome to log on to Point Park's help desk. Do we have that listed on our IT services area, Angelo? And it'll give a general overview for all students.
I'll get that into the chat here in a little bit. Let me get another question out there. This one's going to Kate. I'm a theater arts major and I have a class called Production 1 that's by arrangement. How do I go about arranging that?
So that's what I was talking about in the previous question. That's your production assignment, and you will not receive that until fall. You'll be assigned a particular show, one of the main stage shows in the fall, and then that will be your crew assignment for 2 weeks.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
For dance majors, if you do have anything listed on your schedule and it doesn't have a time, then that means, same as what Kate was just mentioning, that time hasn't been determined yet, and it will not conflict with any other classes that are already listed on your schedule.
Sorry, as I'm reading this one. Okay, Amy, this is going to be for you, and then the back half of this question might be for Michael or Molly. How do we know what courses to register for? And the second question is specific support for disabilities. I will add the disability services, accessibility services is what we're referring to it as now. I'll link that in the chat as well. But Amy, do you want to answer the question about what courses to register for?
Sure. For all freshmen who are on this call, your classes are determined for you and scheduled for you, and you should have gotten an email that outlines your schedule and give you that information. So freshmen, your schedules are already set. If you're a transfer student, a dance transfer student, then your schedule is kind of set for you, and I will email you should I need your assistance adding anything else. But for the most part, that primary fall semester is predetermined. Kate, Ashley, anything different for your transfer students?
That's the same thing for theater. If you're a transfer student, I usually reach out to you. Part of your schedule is determined just like dance, because you'll have specific theater requirements you have to take in the fall. And then I also reach out to you afterwards to discuss the academic courses besides your required theater and production classes.
Yeah,
Molly?
the same is true for cinema. I would say transfers have a little bit more flexibility, but it really does depend on what you're bringing in and what the cinema department is going to give you credit for. So for the most part, like Amy and Kate were saying, you're still going to have a set schedule, whether you're a freshman or a transfer. It's just you might get an extra class or two that's a little bit different than the freshman if you're a transfer, and we can talk about that.
Molly, do you want to speak about accessibility services at all? I did link it into the chat.
Yeah, you bet. So, the process, you can kind of get started now. If you received any sort of academic accommodations in your K-12 experience or at another college or university, we can typically mirror those services to a large extent. There are, some kind of one-on-one professional help, things that we don't do it in college, but we can do things like extra time on exams, quiet spaces, extra, you know, a flexible attendance policy should you be dealing with, you know, a chronic illness. You know, we also can provide temporary accommodations if it's something that's sustained within the course of a semester. So a head injury, you know, a fall, a surgery, anything like that. We can also provide temporary accommodations as well. So it is a service that really all students should know is available to them. The link will take you through the documentation process. So we would need some medical documentation in addition to an IEP. The IEP is helpful because it helps us to kind of learn more about the things that helped you to be successful in your pre-college experience. So, you know, we really value that information and want to help you to continue to be successful. But sometimes we do need a more recent diagnosis because things can and do change with us medically and certainly with mental health issues as well. So it'll take you through that process each semester. So the onus is really on the student in a way that's different from the K-12 environment. We really welcome reminders from parents to the students about getting those accommodations in place. It does work differently in that sense than what families have experienced in the IEP process in K-12 spaces. So, you know, we expect the student and the family to provide that information. We don't seek out students or triage students necessarily based upon what we see in the classroom in the way that happens in K-12. So we need students to kind of go through the process. Each semester you'll select the supports that work to help you be successful in those particular subject areas. So for example, if your learning difference makes computation a challenge, or you might be receiving accommodations to use a calculator, well, you certainly wouldn't need that same accommodation if you didn't have a math course in that semester. So you have agency to select what works and what doesn't work for you within the context of the courses that you register for. But again, I can't stress it enough times. You need to do that each and every semester. It's also important that you do that at the start of the semester. So inevitably what happens at this particular transition from high school to college is that, and often from university to university, is that you feel like it's a new chapter. I'm turning the page. I want to try this without what I had in high school. And some students are able to be successful without the supports. Other students really find that they struggle. And so we see a lot of students at midterm when we do some outreach that are struggling because they never set the accommodations. They don't have those supports in place. So I can't encourage you enough to get the process started, to get those things in place. Again, the earlier the better. So if at midterm you're struggling, you can't kind of retroactively go back and fix the work that's already been done. So have them in place. If you decide not to use them, great. If you find that you need them, they're there for you and you don't really miss a beat.
Thanks, Molly. I'm going to answer the next two questions. Will move-in dates be given with the freshman orientation? There's more information that you can find on that right now, and I'm sharing it in the chat. So I would just recommend looking because there's different groups that come at different times. So this link will house all that information. The second question I'm going to answer is, does Point Park offer student health insurance? And there is some options there, I believe. I'm trying to do 7 things. I'm going to provide the link to that right now in the chat as well. Sorry about the delay there. The link is there. Next up is going to be Amy. Can you describe the available performances for the dance program? Their major is dance, concentration is ballet. They wanted to know if there's rehearsals that are held, auditions for parts, things like that.
So yes, there are. And the dean that we met earlier, Garfield Lemonius, he will be hosting a webinar for all. I know dancers, I'm sure he's going to do a webinar for cinema and theater as well, independently, to talk to you each specifically about what it means to be a conservatory, what the schedule looks like, audition processes, who can audition, when you can audition. So all of that is forthcoming. It will also be in the information from the department. So just hang tight and we'll get all of that information to you.
Thank you, Amy, for that. I got another one for you, Amy. Are there placement classes for dance? And if so, how do they work?
At this time, I don't have an answer for that. We have done placement in the past. Working through the pandemic has changed a couple processes for the entire university. Again, Garfield will be discussing that with us in our COPA webinar. As soon as we have those dates, we'll get them out to you.
Thank you, Amy. I got another one for you. This is for a modern dance student. They want some information on applying for a minor in psychology. Can you explain how that goes for incoming freshmen?
Yeah, I'm actually going to answer this for all majors on the call. You're absolutely welcome to do a minor. We can talk about double majors after. Minors are something that students can do in conjunction with their major, so they do them simultaneously, if you will. But you do not start that. For dance, you may be able to start that in the spring of your freshman year. Kate and Ashley, I'll ask you specifically about what your start dates are. But you don't start that until you get here. So a part of the process with the registration meetings and webinars and discussions that we'll have in the fall is, how do you minor? How do you maximize your education? Which classes will count for the minor? Which classes will count for my college core? And we'll be sure to help you outline that so that you can get both your major and your minor with as few classes as possible. I will stick the link to the minor page on here so that you all can look at it in advance of your registration meeting in the fall.
Thank you.
Kate and Ashley, are you the same? Maybe spring, but definitely a start for the sophomore year.
Yeah, that's correct. In the fall semester, you're already at 17 to 18 credits, depending on your major. And so you really can't fit anything else in. You're really top heavy with theater classes and production classes. And so the fall is a great time for you guys to get here, to settle in, to kind of learn your way around Point Park. Perhaps your interest now may change to something completely different once you get here. So I always like to have the meeting before spring registration, so early October sometimes. So that's given you a little bit of time to settle in and to think about it. You certainly also do not have to decide by the fall semester if you're going to minor. You have a little bit of time, so don't feel that pressure either. We've got a few semesters to talk about it. And I can speak for all three of us here. I know that we will have lots of conversations with you about your schedule in the coming semesters, and if you do have interests outside of your major and how we can fit all that in.
Thank you, Kate. Ashley, this one's going to go to you. The student is animation. They said that there's 2 webinars going on right now. The other one was covering photography. They wanted to know if the other one is mandatory.
I think they may be referring to the fact that I'm also the coordinator for photography, and they have a webinar next Monday. So you would just be going to this one. So that information was sent, and there was sort of a distinction made between the two, but I definitely understand the confusion. There's a lot of information going out right now. So this is the only one you need to be in.
Thank you for that clarity. They also asked a second question that I'm just gonna put up in the ether because I think it's cool. They said, otherwise, what do you think of my plans to revive the Saturday morning cartoon vibes you probably used to watch? And I'm a fan of that. So this student, I encourage you to do that and bring back some epic Saturday morning cartoon vibes. Thank you for that. Kate, this is for you. Is there anything that musical theater majors can do now to prepare academically for the fall? For example, is there an app or a website for music theory that you would recommend for a major, MT major?
You know, that's a really great question, and I don't have that answer, but I certainly can find that for you. If you just email me after this, I can find out some more information from you because music theory is awesome. So I want to find the best website for you, and I'll ask the faculty.
Thank you, Kate. Amy, how and when could a ballet emphasis for a dance BFA add tap if they wanted to? I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah, so students are able to take classes outside of their concentration, and that can happen possibly starting in the spring. Again, the fall semester is really laid out specifically with the classes you need to get started, all the prerequisite courses. And the reason that we don't put electives or options for you in the fall is because we would never want to choose those for you. We want to make sure that you're an active part of choosing the classes that you want to take. So the classes that are selected for the fall are required. You have to do them, and they are the first of every sequence that you start. You can start adding and changing in the spring semester. And I'm just going to answer one more. I don't know if this is going to come up, but 18 credits is the magical number for conservatory students. You can take no more than 18 credits. So your schedule should have somewhere between 15 and 18 credits as a start, depending on your major. You should have no more than 18 on your schedule, with the exception if you are an honor student or if you are part of our summer bridge program, you could have an extra class on there as a part of that. But you can't add extra tab, you can't take a ballet class, you can't add an extra animation class in that fall semester, but I promise you there will be plenty of time for you to do that in the spring and beyond.
Thank you, Amy. Kate, this is going to you. This student is theater arts playwriting. What is the mix of theater versus general classes in the schedule for the first semester?
So every incoming freshman takes University 101 and Com 101 or English 101. So in the fall, you're going to have 6 non-theater or production classes. Everything else, the 17 to 18 credits, is made up of your required theater classes. So you're taking quite a lot. So anywhere between 11 to 12 of those required classes are part of your major.
Thank you, Kate. This one's a dance student. So Amy, and I know this probably will cover other students and majors as well. Do you anticipate classes being offered face-to-face or remotely in the fall? This is a dance student with a concentration in ballet.
Yeah, I'll talk specifically to dance, and Kate can actually correct me if it does not apply to you. It is the university's intention to have every student back on campus face-to-face in the fall. We want to have you engaged and back on campus, so we're very excited about that.
I have one exception to that, which is I do have one of the faculty who is for screenwriting specifically. He is going to be teaching remotely in the fall because he is sort of transitioning out of his role. So if you have a class with him, it may be remote or it may be a hybrid, but you will certainly receive information on that way before the start of fall semester.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. We've been getting some parents asking questions, and I just want to thank the parents for being here as well today. That's really important to support your student like this, your young adult. So thank you for being here and for asking questions. This is a parent of a theater arts major, but I think this could maybe apply to anybody. There was a question posed earlier about like students working during the school year. Is this recommended or encouraged for freshmen? Again, this is musical theater, so I'll toss it to Kate first.
So musical theater is very demanding, but there is also room to work. Obviously, if you have work study or you receive an apprenticeship, that is encouraged and it's worked into your class schedule. So there's time that you can do both. It just may require a lot more time management, making sure you're staying on track of and on top of all of your assignments and things like that. But I certainly think it's doable and it's encouraged. I mean, extra money is good to get through college to pay for books. So that's kind of the stance as it is. And then if you are struggling doing both, and Mike is still here with Tutoring Services, we can definitely work to make sure that you are staying on track and on top of everything.
And that seems to apply across the board. So thank you for that, Kate. I'll answer this question unless, Amy, if you may have more insight. They're asking when the student handbook for dance will be made available. If there is one specific for dance, then I don't know that answer, but there will be one from student affairs that gets sent out closer to fall. So Amy, go ahead. You're shaking your head. There is one.
Yeah, so there's 2 handbooks that come out. There's an overall university student handbook that will come out, and that'll be published on the website. But dance does also have a student handbook. So dance Sarah Cowling from the Conservatory of Performing Arts Dance Department will send that directly to all of our new and incoming students.
And that's the
Thank
same thing for theater. Theater also has their own separate handbook that's sent out separately.
Same for
Okay.
cinema as well.
Okay, there we go. Copa's going above and beyond. I like it. I'll answer this next question. Do double majors cost extra tuition or money? If anybody wants to weigh in on this, they can, but really a double major where it would cost extra tuition or money would be the length of time that it takes for you to complete those extra classes. So that's a really nuanced answer. I would recommend that you reach out. This is a theater student, so you would want to reach out to Kate. So you guys can start talking about that, but that it's really dependent on what you choose, how it applies, what articulates across the different programs, and basically what remains. Does anybody want to add to that at all from your specific areas? Nope.
No, but I think too, it's good to start thinking about it, but you really don't need to meet with us until, like I said, until you've settled in the fall. That's another thing, just because there's no room in your schedule as it is right now to start anything in the fall. So keep that in your mind and start thinking about it as you arrive. And then, you know, like I said, meet with us in October, into September, October, if you're really still considering it.
Thank you. This next question I will answer. When do we receive our housing placements? I don't know if those are, I don't know when they go out necessarily. So I am giving the link to the housing website on Point Park's website, and you can contact Student Life for more information on that. Next
Those
up.
typically go out at the end of July. So the students can request housing up through July the 1st, and so it takes a little bit of time for them to then get everybody matched up who's interested in housing.
Thank you, Molly. Ashley, I'm going to toss this to you. I know that we had a similar question earlier, but I think that it's super important to reiterate things. This is a cinema student. They have to purchase a new laptop for college. How do they go about that? What preferences? I think you mentioned maybe there's a list that you have.
Yeah, so there is a list. I will also just say the most bare bones answer that I can give you is that all cinema students, whether you're BFA or BA, the preference is for a Mac computer. And if you are animation, BFA or BA, the preference is a PC. So I can send you the sheet that really lays out, you know, all of the specifications of the computer, but that is the most bare bones answer.
Thank you for that. Amy, dance major, is there a set performance list that students have access to at the beginning of the semester?
On our COPA webinar for the dance majors, Garfield will announce the season and announce all of the plans for the upcoming fall and spring semesters. So that is still to come.
Thank you. Kate, can theater arts majors who plan to audition for a major or minor in musical theater take musical theater classes?
So the minor, you cannot, right now it's a 2-year minor. So you cannot audition as a theater major until the end of your sophomore year. So you would take those minor classes your junior and senior year. The only classes for non-MT majors, minors that are open to you prior to being accepted, there is TAP, Dance 105, 205, and 305. And private voice, but there are prerequisites that you have to take before you can take private voice. And then TAP may fit in your schedule, probably not until your sophomore year. So that's something you'll definitely want to talk with me about in the fall semester, because we'll want to make sure we get you those prerequisites ahead of time so you can maybe take those.
And I'm just going to jump in and answer that question. For dance majors who want to minor in MT, there is an audition process for that, and that will happen at the end of your freshman year. You will not start MT classes until your sophomore year. So if you're interested in that, all information regarding the dance minor and the MT minor auditions will be sent from the conservatory, and that typically comes out in November.
Amy, let me piggyback on that with a question I'm seeing here just to make sure. I don't know if it's in the same vein. Are dance majors able to participate in musical theater productions, assuming there's no conflict with dance productions?
The answer to that is possibly. And that is something that you'll want to talk with the conservatory about specifically. Once the audition process starts, you can reach out to the department, both theater and dance, to see if that's an option.
Thank you. I'm going to answer this next question. What does the H and TH stand for on a schedule? So the H means it is a Thursday only course. The H means it is a Thursday only course. The TH means that it is both on a Tuesday and a Thursday at the designated time. So just one more time, H is for Thursday, TH means it is a Tuesday and a Thursday. If you have any other questions specific to that, again, you can reach out to your coordinator.
I want to add too that T just means Tuesday. So
Yeah.
T is Tuesday, H is Thursday, and then together T and H make Tuesday and Thursday.
I may be repeating a couple questions here just because I'm losing track of my mind what I'm asking. Is it possible to have voice lessons as a first semester freshman dance major anticipating a musical theater minor? They want to maintain their vocal health.
Is that for me? I'm sorry.
You can answer it too, Amy, if you want.
I'm sorry. I guess
So-
it is dance.
So the answer is no. You have to take a prerequisite, which you would want to talk with Amy about. There are community classes that offer private voice. There is a fee involved, just like there would be a fee if you took it as an academic course. So if you really want to keep with your vocal health, I definitely, your first semester, look into those community classes and setting up a time for a vocal coach.
Yeah, and I saw there's a question about community classes in there, so we'll go ahead and post the link to the community classes in the chat so that you have that. Dance majors cannot start vocal classes in the fall. That is something that they have to wait until possibly spring or sophomore year to do.
Thank you. I will post that community classes link here in 1 second after I ask this question. It goes to Ashley. This is for a cinema student. How difficult is it to request a move from a BA to a BFA in cinema?
So if you're trying to move from a BA up to a BFA, there is a little bit, it's not complicated, especially since you haven't yet started, but you do need to do a little bit more legwork in the portfolio process. So I can put a link to that in the chat, but if you're thinking of it now and you think you're going to make that decision before fall starts, I would say contact your admissions counselor and talk to them, but I can put that link for anyone who wants to see what the process is.
You're going to put that in there, Ash?
Yeah, I'll put it in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a Copa Spiritware available to purchase as the bookstore is sold out?
Oh. I was going to say the bookstore.
Right now, yeah.
What was that, Amy?
The bookstore is the only spot that we know of right now.
Thank you for that. Moving along. This is probably really nuanced. This is a cinema student, so Ashley, you can speak to this. Do you recommend work-study jobs in the first semester, or is it better to wait until the second semester? I think that really, in my opinion, is a personal decision that you might have to make. But Ashley, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say that really depends. I mean, on the one hand, your first semester, you really are trying to just get settled and take these intro courses. So I would think you may want to wait, but if you're somebody who needs that, who wants to do that, then I would certainly say go for it. Your workload is probably only going to increase as time goes on. So once you know what it is you can balance, it's easier to move forward with both on your plate.
Thank you for that. We have about 5 minutes left in this webinar, so I just want to give kind of, we're going to still answer a few more questions, but there's a ton that we're not going to get to just due to the volume. But what's going to happen is after this webinar concludes, there's two things that's going to happen. One, there will be a survey that pops up. You can ask additional questions in that survey and we will respond to them over a period of time here to get back to you. The other thing is all these questions that were asked are documented, and we'll do our best to go through, look at those questions and even reach out individually with any pertinent responses. A lot of these questions may have been repeat questions, so again, that's something to consider. The last thing that I'll add before I answer a few or pose a few other questions is this recording will go up on our YouTube channel about an hour or two after this concludes. So I implore everybody to please, I already put the links in the chat. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're always engaged with students there and sharing information. So we're going to get to just a final few questions here with about 5 minutes left to go. Amy, is there a limit in performances for freshman dance majors?
There is not a limit.
Thank you. There's a question about students not being required to be vaccinated. Are staff and faculty required? At this moment, that is not being required, but as we've learned throughout the last year and a half, everything is very fluid and that could change.
I think regarding all of the COVID questions, we really want to make sure that all of you are definitely going to the COVID website on Point Park's website. If we could put the link in there, the chat. The COVID link has every update that as it happens. So a lot can happen between June and August, and of course your safety and health is most important to us. But a lot of questions about our COVID concerns or how things are going to happen can be directed to student life, student affairs. And so please post that link and definitely refer to that often all through the summer.
Thank you, Amy. And so there are a couple other questions that I'm seeing that do revolve around vaccines and whatnot. So we're going to just defer to those links that I just posted in there, as they are going to have way better information than I will. Sorry, I'm reading through some of these and I know that they're repeats, so I'm sorry for the delay. Ashley, what will the first cinema semester focus on?
So your first semester is a pretty broad intro to the various aspects. So you're going to be taking an intro to cinema production course, a course that focuses on the history of cinema, and then everyone also takes an intro to screenwriting course. So it's really just learning about the various topics and ways that you might go on to focus your later career and your later time here at Point Park. So once you get into second semester, you start focusing a little bit more.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm answering a couple questions in the chat there that are a little more private. Did I understand that work study will automatically be sent to us, or do we need to contact somebody regarding this? Michael, do you know the answer to that, or Amy?
I would say
you should contact HR.
Yeah, I apologize. I may have misspoke to that. You definitely, if you're interested in work study, you should reach out.
To the HR office, is that what it is?
Yes, there is a link on our website called Student Employment, and that link will direct you to all of those spots.
I'll get that in the chat here in 1 second as well. Sorry, I'm just looking through a couple.
I do encourage all of you who do have questions, if their question hasn't been answered, use our search bar on Point Park's website. All of the questions we're answering are there. I mean, I'm typing in student employment, copy, post the link. Use that search bar. It really is a wonderful, wonderful tool. It's there for you. All the information is available to you.
Thank you for that. And Amy, I think that that's probably a good transition for us to maybe start saying our salutations here. So I just sent the link to the student employment as promised, and as Amy mentioned, using the search bar is definitely a good thing to do. I'm sending the link to our main website as well. So why don't we all just go through real quick and just give any final thoughts. Michael, I'll kick off with you.
Well, you know, hey, visit us in Tutoring Services. We're here to help you, and we'll be happy to see you.
And listen, just to piggyback as well, I put the link to Tutoring Services in the chat. I'm going to do it one more time. I would encourage everybody, after this webinar ends, sign up, if you want, for an account. There should be more information coming from Michael and Tutoring Services on that, but you can start that process now. Correct, Michael?
Correct. And during Pioneer Experience, you'll see me again, and I'll be pushing that link. And at that time, you can sign up as well, either now or then.
Thank you. Amy.
We're so glad you're at Point Park. We're happy to have you, and we really appreciate you taking the time to help let us answer your questions today. And if you have more questions, feel free to reach out. I know that the Conservatory will be hosting more webinars. You will hear from the Dean again. You will hear from each of us again. So please know that we're still in the process of sharing information and getting that together for you. And we're very much looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Ashley.
Yep, so really excited to meet all of you in fall. As Amy said, you know, more information to come. You'll be getting your cinema handbook, I'm sure, in the coming months, and more webinars. So even if you didn't find out all the information today, please feel free to reach out, or, you know, that information's coming and it'll be there, so don't worry about it.
Kate.
I mean, I'm so excited to see you all. I've seen your names and your ID numbers, and I'd love to see your faces. So I'm really looking forward to putting names and faces together. The one thing I want you guys to think about with theater is think of me like your academic stage manager. So I am there to make sure you are going to graduate. So the more you communicate, the better. The more you have planned out too will help us too. So it's not just on me, it's a partnership between both of us to work on getting you to graduation. So I just encourage you guys, I mean, you're already taking the first step by being here, asking questions. And so I look forward to what the fall brings.
And
Absolutely.
I want to say what Kate said. Thanks, Kate.
You did good too, Amy.
That's right.
All right, and on behalf of Molly McClelland, who had to leave a little bit early, in the Center for Student Success, I just want to thank everybody, the parents, the students, everybody in between, for being here today and for coming to Point Park. We're really, really excited for the fall 2021 semester. Thank you for all your questions. Just to remind you, as you sign off, there will be a survey, 3 questions. Please fill it out, give us some feedback. If you have an additional question, we will respond to it if you ask it in the survey, and we'll follow up with a few of these questions individually after the webinar. All right, everybody, thank you for your time. Have a great summer, and we will see you soon.